Well, growing appetite for investments in environmental, social, and corporate governance causes is leading asset managers to highlight their green credentials. But this has led to greenwashing, and Elon Musk has just joined the debate. Well, the Tesla CEO taking to Twitter once again to slam the ESG industry following a raid on asset manager DWS Group's Frankfurt offices over greenwashing allegations. So Musk had previously called ESG a scam that had been weaponized by phony social justice warriors after Tesla was kicked off the S&P ESG index. Earlier, the chief executive of DWS said he will step down from his role after a whistleblower alleged that the group exaggerated the green credentials of investments it sold. And prosecutors say they have enough evidence to support the allegations of greenwashing. DWS, which is the asset management arm of Deutsche Bank, has repeatedly denied those claims. DWS is also being investigated in the U.S. over the allegations. The greenwashing probes highlight the scrutiny on asset managers as demand for ESG investments rise. According to Bloomberg, global ESG assets are on track to exceed $53 trillion by 2025. Professor Sumi Agarwal from the Sustainable and Green Finance Institute at National University of Singapore joins us now. Well, Professor, with rising interest in environmental, social governance or ESG investing, how are regulators in Asia Pacific making sure that fund managers are not indulging in greenwashing?
It's a very difficult task. It's like corruption. Catching corruption is difficult. How do you know who's corrupt? And that's why having insiders on some of this, just like what you saw at Deutsche Bank, there was a whistleblower who came out and said, look, the company was exaggerating their positions in green and they were doing greenwashing is important. The other big thing we have to do is measurement. Right now, the measurement of ESG is fraudulent because every player in the market wants to create an index that they want to say, this is our ESG measure. Companies are very eager, fund managers are very eager to adopt any of these indices because they feel investors want it. And so it's kind of a loop that is self-fulfilling. And we need better measurement, we need better detection, and we need better monitoring.
Yeah, so you say we need better measurement, better monitoring. So are regulations against greenwashing clear in APEC then? And what are the differences across this region?
Vast. Because different industry has a different norm of what is this right standard and what is when you're doing better than the standard, you're green. Think about coal, think about fuel, think about palm oil. Every industry has a different sense of what is the pollutant. Are you actually doing eroding the soil? That could be causing you to creating more carbon emissions. So different industry have different measures, and so we don't actually have a unified way of detecting or coming up with an index. The other problem is what we saw in the financial crisis in 2008, when the private sector is creating an index that is selling it for profit to other companies. That is like essentially hand in glove. So this indices should be created by an institution other than for-profit industry. Like an academic institution would be a right place where these indices should be built, and that will create credibility and transparency of these indices that everybody will then be able to adopt and say, okay, we believe it and we believe it's green.
Yeah, just following up, you mentioned measures and standards. Are you able to share, some key greenwashing standards or yardsticks that APEC is using?
Right now, clearly there is none. There is not like a one standard or measure that APEC or any other, even European countries or companies can use right now. Different players have different measures. When you think about greenwashing, how do you detect it? How do you catch it? It's essentially you have to have whistleblowers. It's like catching corruption. You cannot catch it unless So as I said, let me be very clear. First, we need better measurement. then we need better detection, and then we need better regulation. Right now, in Asia, in Europe, around the world, we are missing in all three fronts. Till we start doing better measurement, then we can start doing better detection because the measurement will allow for detection, and then better regulation can come in and say, okay, this is greenwashing, this is not greenwashing, because we know the measure.
Oh, many thanks for speaking with us, Professor Sumi Agaro there from the Sustainable and Green Finance Institute at NUS.